Hello there, my name is Alaydriem, and welcome back to Panicking here on the Lore Legend server with Alaydriem, where I literally walk out of my house in the middle of the night and get ambushed by pillagers. And I don't even have my armor on. Oh, goodness. I need to get my armor on before. Ah, 2 hearts. Okay, we got to get away just a little bit. Oh, boy. Oh, this just is not safe. All right, let's get these boots on. Take care of this last pillager. Oh, yeah. The magic is getting dialed in. Look at that. More reliable. As you can tell, I have been practicing with some updated magic, and it seems to be a lot more effective now. Oh, heart's racing just a little bit. A little bit panicked over just being ambushed by random pillagers. Not how I wanted to start this episode, but hello there, my name is Alaydriem, and welcome back to Salea Altair, my home here on the island of Norafang on the Lore Legend server. And that little shtick that happened right there was completely unplanned and is possibly the most aggressive marketing campaign I have ever seen. Did those pillagers really just come here to advertise the drunken salmon? What is that supposed to mean? The fish are drunken, or you drink the salmon? I don't know. I don't know many people who would drink salmon. That's kind of weird if you ask me. I don't know. I don't get into town very much. Anyway, grand opening, 16th of Summertide. We have some coordinates here. Have a slight confession to make. Despite being here for, about 5 years, I don't have any concept of what the calendar is on this world. I just kind of walk places and travel places, and not really in tune. I'm a mage. I kind of sit here in my tower, explore the world, far, far away, looking for magic. Hanging out at a tavern. Not really something I'm accustomed to, but there could be an opportunity there. I don't know. We'll sit and think on this. There's a couple things that I want to take care of before in this episode, though. And the most important thing that we need to be taking care of, first and foremost, is catching ourselves a dinner. It's getting late in the day, and I have not eaten anything all day long, and this is a great opportunity to continue testing this magic, especially in an underwater setting, which we are now being forced into combat by these drown. We're definitely going to take care of them. Do you see that, though? I have been working on the magic. It's so much more reliable now. It used to have a problem where I think if it hit like water of any kind, it would just scatter and all my energy would be wasted. Magic on this world is weird. Every bit of magic is foreign and strange. And on Valera, the crystals we use for magic, they're nice and refined. They're polished. They make sense. You can feel the energy coming out of them. Here, it's like just all the energy goes every which direction and nothing is polished. Everything is coarse and rough, and it's just frustrating to use because it's not... I don't know how to describe it other than to simply say it's like trying to make magic with something that isn't magical. It's just forcing magic where there is. We're brute forcing our way through magic here, and it's going to be what it's going to be, I think. I'm just grateful that in the lack of my connection to Valera, that I am actually able to whip up some magic that I can use. I'm not entirely useless and hopeless. I am a mage after all. And I do have to say, it's working quite a bit well, but oh gosh, I think I've got the powder too fine on this magic amethyst. This stuff, you don't want to be breathing this stuff in. Oh gosh, it's going to make you be seeing spots for days. Yeah, I think I have actually the amethyst powder used to make these charges just a little bit too fine, because wow, that stuff just gets absolutely everywhere. Really going to need to probably clean this up just a little bit just so you don't go blind. Again, don't breathe this stuff in. I am a trained professional by vocation and training. I know what I'm doing. I just haven't done it on this world with this magic before. So, maybe a little bit more dialing in to do. But we're a lot more stable now. Things are not flying and exploding. And I think we should be good should we need to get into any combat situations. But now that we're back home, we are going to throw this fish here on the fire real quick, cook this up. It is absolutely crazy how having a sign pop up in your front yard really just makes you crave a certain thing for dinner. Wow, that's just so weird. Well, down here in the cellar, let's see if we got anything that we can have with our meal. No. No, we are completely empty. I think I had someone deliver this down to me. If we're out after about 5 years, I think that's a pretty good turnover rate. But I guess going to town is looking more and more compelling because I'm starting to run low on some of my normal provisions. You know, I will say, though, this is the first time in a long time I felt normal. You know, when I first arrived here, I had hardly anything but the clothes on my back and not even my connection back to my home on Valera. You know, on Valera, everything just makes sense. It's home. Here, everything's just rough and unrefined. Frankly, everything here is just kind of annoying. You know, for all the worlds I've traveled to, I've always been able to rely on my magic and my bond back to Valera to see myself through. But even now, with this more refined power, not really super refined, kind of just haphazardly put together, I'm beginning to think I might need to actually supplement myself with some other weapons. You know, I made this sword I had just out of some rough iron just to kind of get me through, but it would be nice to have something that fit the hand a little bit better. I come up here every now and then to see if maybe I can see Valera out in the night sky, but I can't. I've looked 5 years, I've studied the stars from this very tower, hoping maybe I'd see it, but everything here is just strange and unfamiliar. Constellations are alien. Somewhere out there, there's home, but just can't see it. So in the meantime, just have to keep making do with what we have, and maybe it is time to head into this village that has been growing down to the east, I think. I don't know, I'm not super good with directions on this place. Wait a second. You know, I do have an idea I haven't really thought of in a while. Way out there in the distance, there's this frame. You know, before I was stranded here, I was really good at opening portals. It's how I jumped between every single world. I mean, I always had my companion with me, and she, you know, supplied the link, but all the power came from me. And I wonder if I'm able to get this magic back. I wonder if maybe this is a portal. Maybe I can use this magic to maybe open a portal and maybe start finding my way back home. You know, I've stared at these ruins for a very long time. I mean, this feels like a portal. I mean, who builds a strange box thing out in the middle of the ocean unless it's a portal, right? I wonder if the magic that we were just able to reconstitute could potentially open in us. Well, I guess there's really only one way to find out. Roll up our sleeves just here. And, doesn't seem that way. Maybe it needs just a little bit more? A little more oomph? Okay. Okay. It's not working. Okay. Okay, the only thing that this is doing is slowly killing me. I really need to improve that. Alright, well, it was worth a shot. Definitely will need to keep experimenting with the magic on this world. Until then, let's head back home. Got a couple more things that we need to do. In lieu of magic, I need to supplement myself with alternative means of transportation, and I have found myself a absolutely gorgeous horse that I've been using to travel around. So I think it's time we build this horse a stable. And one very, very quick time lapse later, we now have ourselves a stable for our horse, which I'll show you here in just a second. But before I do that, I have also covered up this kind of gargantuan hole that was sitting right in front. I need to maybe put some more training in, maybe do a little bit more, plant a few trees. But I think overall, this just kind of works as a small little cute stable. There's not a lot to it, but it's nice and simple. And more importantly, I don't have a gigantic hole right here in the middle of this kind of area right here that people can fall into. It does kind of obstruct the view of the house as we're coming up to it, but I think that's okay because at least people know when they're coming up that they have a place for their horses and I guess any other animals that they might bring up with them to kind of drop off if they're ever visiting us. Obviously, I think I need to put in some more trees, but overall, pretty happy with how this turned out. So let's turn our attention back to this sign. I think I need to go into town. I think going into town is becoming on the agenda. So I believe I am all packed up and now ready to go. Got plenty of supplies here in my supply box. Got some spare magic, got some things to trade with, and a few potions that I managed to nick off of a wondering which. Hopefully those will come in handy. Actually, hopefully I won't need them, but if we do need them, hopefully they come in handy right here. Now, let me introduce you to this absolutely gorgeous little silver steed that I have. He's not silver. He's a beautiful gray horse. Haven't quite decided on a name for him yet, but here, let's take a look. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful pattern on it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Found some armor in a nearby cave, so hopefully we can keep him alive as long as possible. But here is what is impressive about him. I'm not sprinting right now. This is his walking speed. This horse is a zoomer. Oh, look at that. He just wants to fly. He wishes that he could fly, just climbing up in those trees. He is incredibly fast. And this is just walking. I'm not running. I'm not sprinting the horse. He's just walking right now. It's just absolutely incredible. He's an okay jumper. You know, I think about maybe 3 blocks, which could be better. But in terms of getting around, wow, this is the mode of transportation. It certainly beats walking on these really beaten paths that we have right here. And if you're wondering what I've actually been doing with all my time, well, I've been putting on paths over huge swaths of this server. So this path right here on the left, this actually winds up all the way to Adequate, our friend the Norn's village. That's where his home is. I'm not going to go and spoil his base anymore. If you want to see what he's been doing over in his Norn village, go and check that out. But I've also been building a winding path that goes all the way basically the other side of the continent. And this has been one of the many things that I've been working on this server. There is so many things that go on behind the scenes that don't make sense to really show on camera. Maybe I'll do a live stream of them. I don't know. If you're interested in live stream of building farms and I guess building paths, let me know down in the comments if that's something that appeals to you. Not particularly on the list of things that I think is super great content, but if you want to see that, let me know. There's a lot of things that you can do behind the scenes to make your world feel more alive, and I think paths are absolutely one of them. I had to build a little bridge to cross the span here. I know it's not much, but these little things here that you can add to your world, paths in particular, and little bridges to cross things, I think that they add so much character into your world that would otherwise just not be there. I mean, huge bases are fine and they're great, but when they're sitting on their own, they're just sitting on their own. If you have a server with other people, by the time everyone has an Elytra, no one's actually exploring the world anymore. So build paths in your world. It adds so much character, so much interest, and really helps the world feel more alive, especially if you actually force yourself to use them. I don't have an Elytra in this world, and I don't plan to use an Elytra for, I don't think, really ever. And I think that that's okay. At least on this server, I can use this horse to get around everywhere, have nice, well-lit paths. Obviously, need to clean up just a little bit so I can walk through them. But, you know, other than those few minor things here, I have a great way of getting around the server. I also have not been idle with just building paths. I've also been working on a ton of other farms in the background to power some of the more logistical items. If you've seen my channel, you know that one of my favorite farms that I've designed is my bone meal farm. I've added that to the server now, and can confirm that that bone meal farm design they have and still works on servers, and it's really, really good. I have, I think, maybe about 3 double chests full of bone meal, and each spot isn't actually bone meal, it's shulkers. So I have 3 double chests of shulkers filled with bone meal. It's a lot of bone meal. I basically have enough bone meal to pretty much do whatever I'm going to need to do, which, if you know me, you know I love building farms that entirely depend on bone meal. So hands have not been idle, just working on a lot of background things here. Now, one more thing for this server. We have a group adventure coming up in a week or 2 from when this video is published, and that's going to be a first group adventure with everyone on this server. And there's going to be some dice rolling, there's going to be probably a lot of dying, and it's going to be a very interesting time. I'm not sure if I want to stream it. It depends on the time of the day that we do it, and really a bunch of other factors. I probably won't stream the first one, but if there's a lot of interest, maybe I'll stream subsequent ones. But that is coming up, so next episode will probably be just a condensed version explaining everything in that group adventure, and then we'll get back to our regular cadence. But I think I'm coming up here on negative 1700. I think that's where the signs told us to go. So that's going to be it for me in this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.